Let's roll, guys.
I was born ready. So with that, our podcast episode topic today. You good?
Yep.
All right. Our topic today is hobbies. So no particular direction for this topic. Just kind of talking about hobbies and possibly hobbies we've had in the past or hobbies we currently have. Anyone want to start off? You're sharing your hobbies if you have any. Unless you're a zero hobby person.
I mean, life gets busy sometimes, but
You just don't do anything. I'm just kidding.
I try to. Obviously, golf being up there pretty high. Being it's very easy to connect with family that way and just connect with other people from church or other places. Or I feel like that's what most of my hobbies are, is either bettering myself or connecting with people. Like whenever I play video games, it's usually with other people or roommates or just these guys here. But yeah, either that or running or that's mostly at golf, running or video games.
I feel like that's a good list.
Including chess pretty recently.
Mm-hmm. I have a less noble answer. I feel like I have a lot of hobbies that don't necessarily benefit anything. So you talked about hobbies that we did when we were younger. I learned to juggle.
That's pretty cool.
I guess I've kind of kept up with it. It feels very much like the saying with a bike. Like once you learn, you never really forget it. You just kind of pick it back up. But yeah, so I used to juggle a lot. I do running as well and video games as well. So those are more of a de-stressor type hobby that I have, something that I do, some activity that gets my mind off of things. But yeah, I don't know that I have a ton of hobbies that, like you were talking about, connect with people and stuff like that. I liked your answer better than mine because I'm over here I just kind of do stuff that I feel like doing, So yeah.
Well, I made it sound a lot better than I often am, but those were the main hobbies, yeah.
I mean, in a way, what I do for a living now started as a hobby. So I started videography because I had opportunity with friends and I started making some small, really, really base rate sort of cringy YouTube level videos. And then it turned into what I'm doing now of interviews and running a YouTube channel with Christian influencers and stuff like that. Yeah. So, I mean, it definitely started off as, oh, I have a camera, I'll just point it at stuff. This is fun. And then it turned into a lot more than what I expected. So, yeah, I don't think it's officially a hobby now, though. I think I get paid too much for it.
Right. So true. But yeah, that's great that you can get paid for your hobby now.
Yeah, I do think that it changes the game a lot about, and I don't want to derail us this early on, but there are things that I've done in video work that I'm oh, this will be fun. I'll just point and shoot and do this video. And then there are other videos that I've got hired for that I'm oh, this is dragging on for so long. I have no interest in actually producing this. I'm doing it because it's a paycheck. And so there's definitely a fine line, but I think that comes with the territory for most things. Any hobby can turn into work if you let it become that, I think. So yeah, being able to find what you're passionate about and be able to pursue that along with whatever you need to do to sustain yourself, that's that's more so where I feel like hobbies lie for me personally. So yeah, still some good things that we're shooting, still some good things that like we're creating videos on, which are a lot of fun, but it can become something where it's no longer the fun, not whimsical, but almost lighthearted thing that I would consider a hobby, you know? So, anyway, like I said, don't want to derail us.
You're fine. I think that's kind of what this podcast has become a little bit with the few episodes we have is, sometimes we get talking about stuff and I feel like I don't really expect us to stay like strictly on topic all the time.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, right, for sure.
The guy with the notebook, yeah.
But yeah, I think just with all of our different personalities and just different ways that we think, I fully expect us to kind of go on rabbit trails and tangents, and that's more than okay.
Fair enough, but I mean, you two still have to tell us your hobbies, so I can't get too derailed.
Yeah, so
it's only Jake and I
that's
so
a good
far.
idea. Before we get into, more questions about hobbies and the topic, you want to share next, and I'll share last.
This is your topic.
No, power of the host. He gets to just throw you under the bus.
Like, since I'm the host, I'll share last.
Sure.
He should be the most prepared, so it would make sense that his answer would be best at the end.
Oh,
yeah,
we're
that's
saving
what
the
it is.
best for
That's
last.
what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think I'm the most prepared?
Turns out he's got 3 words.
I got a little more, but
I mean, it had to have more. The first sentence was, "This podcast is about hobbies." So I mean, that's like double the words right there.
Fair enough.
if you want to, I can share next. Just offering you the privilege to.
Oh, well, it's a privilege.
Never has it been so difficult for someone to share their hobbies before.
So true. So anyway, I like playing golf. I also.
Well, no. I didn't give it up willingly. I can go next if you want me to.
I already started. Let me just pause.
Okay, whatever. I guess go ahead. Continue.
Okay. So I also like playing golf and playing guitar, and I have some other hobbies, but I think golf and guitar have kind of been a little bit bigger in my life because part of what I look for in hobbies is just something that kind of challenges me, and something that kind of pushes me to be better at something. And I don't know, I just feel like it's just more of a long-term hobby. Like I don't have to look for something new in the near future because getting good at golf, for most people, it's going to take years to get pretty good. And practicing guitar, I've also learned takes a lot of time, a lot of consistency, and a lot of patience, and just learning how to learn the proper way so you don't pick up bad habits, and just not giving up and keeping at it. Yeah, those are the first 2 hobbies, but I also like hunting, fishing, riding my mini bike, soccer, pretty much a lot of other active sports. I won't list all of them. And I also like video games too. Some single player, but also I do like multiplayer online, playing with friends.
Yeah. See, this is why he was going to go last. He had so many, and we had like 3. So,
Not that it's a competition. You may or may not get points.
I play guitar too. Come on.
You may or may not get points based on how you
Oh,
You didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
All right,
So
well,
you're
starting
giving
at
it
10 years old, here's my list of hobbies.
Isaac, no pressure. Go.
I also play guitar. I'm ignorant as well. You said hobbies, and the first thing I wrote down was protein.
So true.
Wow.
You want to expound upon that?
Yeah, you might. Yeah.
Just finding so like halfway serious, but like the different things that actually have usable protein in them. It's just like Brie and I will make a game out of it sometimes, or like Cody and I will be like, "Hey, did you know that this had protein in it?" Like pork rinds have a decent full chain protein in it. Like a bag of them has a lot of calories, but it's still you wouldn't think that a chip product would have protein in it.
So there we go. Why do you care so much about protein? Why is
Because
that
it's
become a
good for you and it makes you a big, strong boy.
I thought he was saying like his hobby is consuming protein.
hobby? I mean that too.
That too.
But yeah, context is helpful.
Yeah. So what is the context?
For lifting, getting stronger, being better, and, being able to show up when people need you. Or like if by the time, like my dad cannot do hardly any physical activity with me right now, and he's barely 50. Like his dad, my grandpa, was able to run and kick the ball with us longer than my dad was. And I was like, I don't want to end up like my dad. I want to end up like my grandpa, where he just now was like, all right, I need to start being more careful. Like the last serious injury he had, other than cancer, was like he ran up a slide and tore his Achilles heel. At 65 years old, my dad can't hardly get up and down a flight of stairs without being out of breath. I'm like, all right, one of these things is not like the other. And then cold water. I know it sounds goofy, but just to expound upon being healthy is like a hobby of mine. It's like it interests me how X, Y, and Z reacts with your body and how it can help you. And then just cold water, meditating and praying is wonderful. The first 30 seconds sucks, just absolutely sucks. But then after that, it's like, okay, I'm not thinking about anything else but praying, and it's wonderful. If you haven't tried it, you should try it.
For our listeners, do you want to expand on cold water?
Anywhere from 64 degrees down to 34 degrees.
No, like
immersion.
we all understand what you're talking about.
Oh, no, any type of cold water. Just any type of being under cold water, whether it's a cold shower or a cold plunge or an ice bath or hopping in cold water at the lake.
Some people might think drinking cold water.
Oh, no, being in cold water.
There we
I think
go.
I did specify cold water immersion when I first said it.
You might have.
Anyways.
Yes. Either way, it's good to. I mean, it's good to clarify because I honestly didn't think that you meant everything. I thought you meant your
gotcha,
cold
gotcha,
water
gotcha.
plunges. So as you're expanding to whacking it with my ring.
You're fine.
But
I was clicking my pen like 1,000 times. I was like, stop clicking your pen, Isaac.
but yeah, no, that's good to know.
Just like anything to clear your mind. Like my mind goes 1,000 miles a second all the time. If I'm not careful every second of the day. Like one of my trainees at work was like, why do you work so hard at work and then we'll go work out? And I was like, because if I don't, I can't sleep. Or if I don't, then I'm rude, or I'm like, I've got all this extra energy because I take care of my body, that if you don't, then it's going to sit there and you're going to not sleep. I was like, this guy that I work with, he struggles with sleep, struggles with his energy, and he doesn't train, doesn't regularly get his heart rate above 120, doesn't regularly stress himself out or like put a little bit of strain on his body. And so he struggles with sleep. He'll eat sugar. He eats pretty decently, but like he'll eat a bunch of stuff that is not good for you right at the end of the night, and he won't. And it's like there's a lot of difference between that and not
Taking care of yourself.
Yeah. And I've had numerous occasions where I'm sick and I haven't got any sleep in the last 24 hours and I still outperform him. We're 2 years difference. It's like that's my hobby. It's like it might sound kind of like arrogant or I'm big bad strong boy, but it's just
Working out.
Yep.
Staying healthy.
Yep. And then hanging with my bros. So
Amen, brother.
Amen, brother. So like just hanging out, not being on our cell phones. That's the key thing. Spending time with people not on a screen. I hate when I have to regularly tell the people that are regularly in my life, let's not have any screen time tonight. Let's have a full 8 hour, full 4 or 5 hours at the end of my shift where we're not on our cell phones, where we're doing something outside and playing out in the pool and the $5 pool. It's not fancy. I'm not that bougie.
Got a basement though.
But I don't own
All right,
a house.
all right. All right.
Anyway,
There's some derailments I'll tolerate, but no.
The next thing that came to mind was the fact that my house doesn't actually have real insulation. It's horsehair. Yeah, so there's that too.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
that's unique.
And then there's not a ton of drywall either. So like most of the stuff you see is like plaster over boards. And then so if you damage it at all, you'll see like little plaster fall out. Then you'll see there's no lead paint, but you'll see like little horsehair sticking out, and you're like, oh, that's gross.
That is weird.
Or you'll our drywall will get a little bit of moisture, and then you can see the plaster, or they instead of just sanding it all down, they just covered it up, and so it bulges out.
Cool.
Anyways,
All right.
back
That's
on the
fun.
topic.
Well, we all said our stuff, so
Yeah,
what's
topic.
next?
So Josh, you touched on a little bit about hobbies you've had in the past, and that was just kind of a little subtopic based on our topic of hobbies that I want to talk about. Is just kind of hobbies you might have had when you were a kid, and
Okay.
as we've grown and all to be adults,
Mm-hmm.
some more adultish than others. Joking, of course.
I love how 2 of the 3 of you, when he said that, looked at me. Not intentionally.
All right. So hobbies as a kid.
But yeah, hobbies as a kid that, as you grow to be an adult,
Yeah.
whether you kind of sustain that hobby and keep pursuing it.
Okay.
Or,
So what is kid?
I don't know,
What's where's the age cutoff for that?
That's a good question.
probably just however you want to tell your story, really, kind of elementary, middle school, or
Okay.
up until
So
high
the
school.
first thing
So are we
that
talking
popped
like
into
12,
my-
13 is kind of that's where we're cutting it off as you start getting into a teenager?
Because
Or
the
are we,
first thing that it popped into my head was it stopped being a kid hobby when you have adult money. So when you have your own
I think-
job.
Okay,
then you can
okay.
start-
That's kind of that's kind of
So
more
you're talking
so-
more like 16, 17, 18,
Yeah.
adult level.
But
Okay.
that's just my little.
No, that's totally fine.
I think that's kind of more what I was getting at.
Okay.
Kind of
All right.
when someone has a part.
Because I don't know about you guys, but that dramatically changes what I was actually doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have a full-time job, you have your own money and you have
Right,
less free
right.
time. And if you have a part-time job, that's kind of the middle area.
Especially if you live with your parents and have a full time job.
Yeah,
Then you're
right.
like, oh, I got all the money in the world.
Yeah, so I would
Yep.
say, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a
Yeah,
gray area.
we don't need an
I don't know.
official age cutoff. I was just curious, what you were
Yeah.
picturing of what we're trying to go for in that. Because I remember there were a couple hobbies that I picked up in college that I don't know if that was more of a kid type hobby. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But if we're just talking before then, even if it's just as basic as all right, under 18, yeah, I had a lot of them because I was one of those kids that my future occupation changed basically every other day, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do this, and so there was a while that I was super into geology, and so I would collect rocks. I knew what rocks they were. I would be able to go out. My grandparents lived in kind of a desert area, and so they had these big sloping mountains that had tons of old, really, really small fossils and stuff like that. And so my brother and I would go out and we'd literally for 4 or 5 hours we would smash rocks and be like, oh, this doesn't have anything in it, oh, this doesn't have anything in it, for ages. But at the same time, you fast forward a year or two, and I thought I was going to go pro with skateboarding, and so I did skateboarding for a year, and then I gave it up. And it's Was I any good? No. I had like 1 year of practice, and so yeah, I never amounted to anything, but it was something I was really passionate about for this much time. Like the tiniest little bit of my life. So yeah, I had a lot of them that were very much touch and go. Like they'd show up and then just disappear overnight. Like things that I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this seriously, and I'd take it seriously for 6 months, and then it just kind of died off. So yeah, there's a lot in that category, but most of them are pretty normal things. I never took up underwater basket weaving or anything like that. So
I hope that's not a thing.
oh. So what about you guys? Kid hobbies. What you got?
I was just thinking, I feel like I was very basic as a kid. Like when I didn't have a job, it was either school or video games is basically all I was doing. Before we had video games, like I guess when I was maybe under 13, it was mostly like playing outside or that sort of thing. But just like playing with neighbor kids, doing kickball or that sort of thing. But yeah. We did ride bikes a lot too, so that's something I kind of miss, riding bikes with the family. I was thinking about that the other day, going on a trail that we used to ride bikes on all the time. Just all the memories we had on this one trail, and just, I don't know, kind of want to go back to that or have that with my family someday, being able to ride bikes and do that sort of nature walk or run or bikes or something like that. But yeah, I feel like mostly as a kid it was video games or playing outside.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything I really focused on.
Legos was a big one for me.
Oh, true. That too.
I forgot about that one for a minute, but
Yeah.
I would call that a hobby. I was really into that one for a long time. So, but with that same age gap, I was about 13 or 14 that I picked up running, and so that one like stuck around full time for sure. So, yeah, I don't think I got rid of the Legos thing either. I still like Legos. They're really cool. I'll still admit that one for sure.
I think part of what I was getting at is kind of like what Jake touched on is just stuff you have from your childhood, possibly that has a lot of nostalgic value. And I think I was talking with my wife, Jessica, the other day about it, where it might have been like bike riding or, the kickball in the side yard, just stuff that, you've done in your childhood, and whether it be like neighbors move away or y'all just get older and don't have the time to do that anymore. Just like hobbies that died off, or hobbies that die off, hobbies that you can kind of maintain up until your adult life, and another one is hobbies that get revived. Like me and Isaac the other day, we went to a soccer field in Niles, and it's been a while since I touched a soccer ball, like, with the intention to actually like dribble it around and kick it. So just being able to do that with a friend, and since it's been a while, it felt good to get back into it, and just keep that going.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. My core was so sore.
Yeah.
We spent like 45 minutes trying to take the ball behind us, grab it with our feet, and throw it over our shoulder in between these two like 12-inch to 14-inch gap in this goalpost. And you have to whip your hips around and then throw the ball with your legs. And we are not tiny human beings. We're probably both over 200 pounds, right? And doing that for 45 minutes was, oh my gosh.
You don't realize the muscles that it uses until the next day in your shoulder.
You're like, oh my gosh, why does it hurt to get in and out of bed? I think one, you were touching on Legos. That one, it was more of like figuring out how stuff worked, like taking it apart, putting it back together.
Mm-hmm.
That I spent so much money on Legos so much money because I had my first job when I was like just before I turned 16. And I worked I could work 25 to 30 hours as a minor. And because I was homeschooled, I had all the time in the world. Between that and Nerf guns, just taking them apart and just being able to launch something far or a little bit farther.
You modified them too, didn't you?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You take the air restrictor out.
Yeah, exactly.
You put you cut up a K26 spring, which is like a car part to open old hoods or to keep certain doors open. It's a 12 kilogram spring. So I've seen people crunch them all the way down and then put a hole in their hand because they yeah. They have I've seen somebody shoot a Nerf dart, slightly modified, but a Nerf dart 400 yards. I mean,
Yeah. I rip apart some Nerf guns.
There were some places that you had to sign a waiver to play, and you had to have a certain range. You can't shoot past, you can't get closer than this range because you're going to hurt them. That hurt worse than paintball.
Imagine 400-yard shot by shooting someone point blank.
Yeah, that, exactly.
I'm going to leave a welt.
Yeah.
You'd have people come in with scuba tanks just upside down and then just
Air
hooked
pressure.
up. Yeah, you'd be like,
weaponry.
"Hurrah!"
Yes. Yeah, there was a guy that I saw that adjusted one of them that had the chain feed Nerf bullets. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he adjusted it to be air pressurized. It's it was not a nice weapon anymore. It's you want to talk about non-lethal home defense? I mean, that's getting pretty close. So.
And then that devolved into, as an adult, real guns. Taking apart, learning how they work, cleaning them, and then shooting bows. That was so much fun.
I would imagine that some of the tear it apart and put it back together also plays a role into your car knowledge as well.
Yes.
Because that's half the struggle for a lot of people to actually work on their own cars. Is okay, I took it apart, now what?
Yeah.
I can't put this thing back together. Now, granted, there's a lot of parts that need you got to have a specific torque wrench or whatever to get it exactly right. But I mean, even basic stuff I've helped change a headlight or two, and in the process, they just kind of stared at me the whole time, how do you know to do this? I was
our lead
you
sales
just got to
guy.
pull it out.
Yeah, our lead sales guy at my work, he is great at sales and great at being a Wildman representative, but has no idea when it comes to cars.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really good at he's a really good coach, and he got to coach with one of the best people in the country at American folk style wrestling competition and Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the United States for the people under 16 and under. But has no idea how to put an alternator in his car. Sure. And I'm like, I'm not going to do this for you, but I will gladly teach you how to do it, and you can just take us out for dinner. Ended up me doing it, and his car ended up just breaking.
Did you put it in wrong?
No, it's not hard to. It's kind of hard to mess it up. It sits right on top. It's 3 bolts, and you just. It's super easy. No, his car broke, and so he returned the part 4 weeks afterwards. It was just something else was wrong with it. He thought it was the alternator. I was like, I can change an alternator. It's a Ford. It's right on top. It's not hard. Yeah.
But what's not hard for you partially comes
super
from,
hard for him. He was
I mean, that partially comes from what you were used to as a kid.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many stacks of magnets I had from just ripping apart old radios or stereos.
But the idea of taking apart a Nerf gun and then putting it all back together. My wife is an extremely gifted nurse, and does technical things all day long that I cannot imagine and sometimes don't want to imagine. Like, but if I handed her a Nerf gun and I say, strip it apart, exchange this, and put it all back together, like, it would feel complicated for her. I'll bet she could do it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's something that is like, well, yeah, I did this when I was 10 years old. It's like,
Yeah.
well, that's why it's easy.
Or like
that
starting
hobby turned into a skill.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
starting a fire from scratch. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's super hard, and it takes patience. But it's like once you do it, like everybody around you's like, "Whoa, what did you do?" I was like, you can rub two sticks together and get this done.
yeah.
Take the battery out of your remote and pull the springs out, and you can start a fire that way too.
Mhm.
You can take even a dead battery, and still with a thin enough wire, most of the time you can still start a fire.
Does that match kind of what you're going for?
Yeah, kind of.
All right. Like you said, we don't have a specific plan. So.
Yeah. Also, another kind of subtopic is just like hobbies that you wish you could kind of engage in more and do more of, but you just, you can't, whether it be like you don't have enough time or enough energy or enough money, or, stuff gets in the way or something like that. Like, I don't know if that happens with all you guys, or you just always have perfect planning and always get to do what you want to do.
Every single day, just get to do exactly what I want every single time.
I just wake up and be awesome.
Bow hunting.
Well, yeah.
I just don't ever have the time and the money to. I will, hopefully, once I start getting those big boy army checks, but until then, it's going to be.
So, like I mentioned with my hobby of playing guitar, part of it is just like, the challenge and kind of how I wish I could be a rock star like in a day, but that's not realistic. And part of it's just like being patient, consistent with it, but also just finding the time for it with my busy, hopefully becoming less busy schedule, but the busy schedule, and when I do have time, having the motivation to actually, pursue that and not, like scroll through social media or something.
Yeah. Practice is like the worst part of a hobby.
Yeah.
Like being able to do the thing is great, but then needing to practice to get better at the thing is often so tedious. So, yeah, I get that. I feel that really, really well with, like I said, running a YouTube channel. Like almost every single piece that I'm putting on there is something that I'm passionate about. I want to see, like I want to film this. But there are so many shots that I'm like, oh yeah, this would be great if we could do that. And, the number one thing that shows up is like, yeah, it would be really cool if you had 120 grand to rent a crane for a day. Like, you cannot do that shot. It's not possible with your means. And then, you can find substitutes and other things like that, but oftentimes I run into okay, I've tried to make this work, 5-6 different ways. It's not coming out to be what I want it to be, because what I want it to be is, huge Hollywood budget, and it's like I have $100, and so practicing to get what I want, but not having the skill or knowledge that's gotten me to that place yet can be so frustrating. Like so frustrating, because in my head I can picture like, oh, this would be really good. This would add to the story that I'm trying to tell. And then in practice, my hands are kind of like left with giant question marks. Like, what am I supposed to do to make that happen? So yeah, I get that. Different level for sure, but I feel like that's something that hobbies have been frustrating in the past for me, especially. Like I'm slowly learning that it's a good thing to need practice, but yeah, it's one of those things that I've been in the same boat of like, I wish I could be a rock star in a day. And realistically, like, it's just, you're not going to produce something that will change the world the first time that you point a camera at something. Like, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, I get that. I feel that.
I was thinking similar to what Isaac and Travis said, because my brothers keep asking me to go hunting, and I want to go hunting, but I feel like since I haven't done it since I was really little, or like even just going out to hunt, not even trying to shoot stuff, so I didn't really do that when I was little. But I want to get into hunting, but also money and schedule and other excuses, I could say, but
Yeah.
And also anything musical, but I feel like I'm never musically talented. I don't really have rhythm, so that's a bit of a problem, but I mean that comes with practice as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, mainly just those two.
Yeah, I don't really see myself as musically talented either, but I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of working against my skill set practicing guitar, but I think it's fun. I enjoy it. Like Josh was saying, the practice part can be kind of sometimes tedious and tough to get through, but when I do see progress in my skills as a guitarist, it just kind of gives me that motivation to push further and improve more.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned, both you guys just said, like, you don't know if you're musically inclined. Is there something that you guys have felt inclined to, like something that you're good at naturally but don't do now?
That's a great question. Might have to give you an answer in the next episode.
Next time on Smack Left.
I was just thinking, like, there's stuff that I'm kind of talented at, but I do those, like golf or some other sports. But I mean, I guess soccer I don't really do much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do indoor soccer and stuff after high school. I was in leagues and that sort of thing. I don't really do that anymore. But
we're kind of getting on like stuff we haven't really done at all, or stuff we don't.
Well, I mean, so for a while, my dad was really into theater and writing even. So he has a few plays that are like copyrighted his. And so because of that, it was very, very easy for my brother and I to hop on board and be in the theater world. So there were a lot of, whether it be just volunteer plays, like at a civic theater or something like that. Like, we did several different play type things. And for my brother and I, both of us, it was just really easy. Like, this just made sense, doing different voices, doing different acting portrayals. Like, this is just, this is what we grew up with, because our dad would do voices every time he told us a story, and he would do all these different things. So, like, naturally, it was very easy for us to gravitate towards that scene, but both of us went a totally different direction than actually using any of that, And, like, I haven't been in a play in years. I don't want to calculate how many years, because I'm old. But, bruh, I stopped being a 20-something this year. Yeah. I am the old man here at the table, let me tell you.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But,
You're 30?
Yeah, will be.
When's your birthday?
October.
Oh, of course, as soon as I'm gone.
Yeah. It's all good, though. I'm actually looking forward to 30. There are a lot of people that have, like, all the memes of, like, oh no, the 90s kids are slowly getting roped to the 30s. It's like, no, I'm looking forward to it, man. Like, if Jesus can wait till 30 to start his ministry, I feel like I'm doing okay. Like, Yeah, just keep pursuing what he's got for me, and we'll be fine. It don't matter. It's just a number. So, anyway, outside of me being old and decrepit, I've never been in a play since leaving probably high school. I don't think I did anything in college. So that was something that, like, you know, if you believed in parallel universes, there's a Josh out there that's like a major actor, like for sure. Like all it would have taken is something that I would have actually pursued that with a lot more of my time than what it became. And it was just something that was natural. It was easy. And so it would have made sense for me to go after it. You know, you guys are talking about not being inclined toward music, but still wanting to do it. What about the reversal? What's the flip? You know, what's something that you are good at, but you didn't feel like you needed to pursue?
So it's kind of difficult for me to answer. I've thought about this a little bit, and like it's kind of part of my personality to be hard on myself.
Okay.
Like, I think part of my thinking thinks it's healthy to be hard on myself, to push myself to be better. But I think at the same time, it could be self-destructive. In which,
Yeah, there's got to be a balance on that.
yeah,
for
so
sure.
like, you know, on the downside, I don't, you know, kind of see my
What?
strengths.
What?
Nothing.
Face for?
Nothing.
So yeah, like on the downside of that, it's a little bit harder for me to see my strengths. So like when you asked that question, I was like, I think I'm good at stuff, but what am I actually good at?
Okay.
So like,
So even if you were really good at something, you might not even notice because, like, you naturally just see it in a harder light, if you will. Of no, I'm not actually that good at this, or I don't know. I don't want to say that it's like putting yourself down, but like it's harder for something to show up in your life and you believe that you're good at it. Is that right?
yeah, and I think as I think about it more, it might have came from when I was a teenager and I was trying to kind of find my career path, like what I want to do with my life. And I went through these different phases, kind of having different careers in mind. And, you know, since I was a teenager, people would ask me, they'd be like, hey, what do you want to do when you graduate or when you grow up? And, you know, I would have stuff like, oh, I want to be a veterinarian. And then, like, I don't know why, but for some reason when people ask you that, like, whatever your answer is, they're always like, you know, oh, let's give them the worst case scenario to see if they still want to do it. Like, oh, you want to be scratched by cats? I'm like, I'm sure that's not an everyday thing. Like, maybe it happens often, but, you know, then I was, then at one point I wanted to be like a car mechanic. And, you know, I kind of probably set the bar a little low, you know, just basic mechanic, didn't want to like own a mechanic shop. But then I told this guy that, and he's like, oh yeah, those guys don't make very much money at all. I'm like, well, great, I gotta find something I like doing, but something that's like sustainable.
Yeah.
So I think part of it is just like, you know, just I wouldn't say like shut down, but just kind of like discouraged from certain things that I've pursued in the past. So like sometimes I just get discouraged by other people and their opinions of my goals and my possible passions that I want to pursue. And, you know, other times it's just, you know, I might have something I'm good at and, you know, I might just be hard on myself and I'll be like, okay, this is this thing that I'm good at. Is this going to, you know, be very useful if I pursue it and, you know, put my skills to the test. And,
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of my struggle with that question. Is I could try to give you an answer, but yeah, I've been wrestling with similar questions for a while.
Right.
I forgot what the question was.
Is there something that you're good at that you did not pursue?
Yeah, music.
Okay.
So I can make notes on most wind instruments. I can pick up a trumpet right now and play your basic. I could play the drums, be a fill-in guy for the drums, but it just, when I was taught, it was not taught from a way of, oh, I'm passionate. Oh no, you're good at this, so you have to do this.
Yeah.
And it annoyed me so much. I was like, yeah, as soon as I work up the balls to actually tell my parents, no, I don't want to pursue this anymore. It's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Do you regret it?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I think that's healthy.
Like,
I mean, like,
guitar, I wish I would have played more, just because I had such an opportunity to learn from some amazing guitarists. Like, some of the people that were around me were like, could have been famous if they wanted to. But I just was like, I don't really have. I didn't have any sort of way to know what discipline is. And my parents weren't able to teach me that because they didn't know. I pursue now what I want to pursue.
yeah, like I said,
but-
I think that's healthy to say, yeah, I was good at this, but I didn't pursue it because I didn't want to. Like,
Sports was another thing.
just because you're good at something doesn't mean it needs to be your life. Like
I'm a reasonably athletic person, and I just find no interest in sports. I played tennis, I played basketball, I didn't want to play football. I still cannot find any reason why football is so popular. And the American football, I'm okay with the actual football, like real football. I can watch that. But
Controversial here.
yeah, I didn't realize we were getting into the deep.
Played volleyball, played tennis. I do like pickleball though. That's fun, but it's fun when you have friends.
Yeah.
But when you're like, you don't have the money or the resources to have gear or have even, your basic like outfit to wear or shoes, or you're like, your parents don't express any interest in you doing this other than, I told you, you said you were going to commit to this, so you're going to show up for the practices even if you don't. We're not going to make you practice at home, but you're going to show up for the practice and the games. And so you just look like a or you're just good enough at it, and the rest of your team doesn't want to put any effort in. You work up the effort, you're like, this is dumb. I don't want to be the only one. Like last night, we were playing Apex. It was me and Cody, and the dude was like, all right, let's go play the game. Let's play the game instead of just loot for 45 minutes. And I'm like, dude, I turned it off. Like, I just was like, oh, it knocked me out. Like, my game crashed. I'm just going to hit the hay now. In reality, I just turned it off because I was like, dude, you are so annoying. Like, play the game. Or like yesterday at drills, we smoked the other team because all of our members, like half of our little team, we had two teams that had one extra guy, and we smoked them. We made them look like, and we were done before they even hit the halfway point. And it was just a matter of, oh, we want to do this. They were just like, meh, just kind of like, and it was like, oh, I want to be here. And I had like, everybody else was like, oh my gosh, I just got back from basic training. I'm like, Hoss, you are in high school. Why are you complaining about getting free food and paid to be playing on the beach?
Yeah.
But like,
No sports for Isaac.
yeah, no sports for Isaac. No sports for Isaac.
Disc golf, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think that was actually the first thing that showed up when you asked if there was a hobby that I wish I could pursue more.
Yeah.
It's disc golf, just because I really thoroughly enjoy it.
Mhm.
It just takes time. And right now, with a 13-month-old at the house that I'm needed for because my wife works nights, so like it's you don't want to go disc golfing at night. Like it's a very different experience. So yeah, it's just tricky to find opportunity and time. So yeah, but yeah, that's the one sport that we can toss to you: disc golf and maybe pickleball. Yeah.
Let's do it, yeah.
Little
I do like soccer though. Like just
soccer.
not like competitively, but like 2-man team, we play soccer. That'd be fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
that kind of stuff.
So it kind of sounds like you actually do enjoy sports as a hobby.
Yes.
Like by definition, a
Yes.
hobby, not the overly competitive drive of something that people are taking very seriously.
Yes, because
So-
a lot of the people that I play with are the same level of skill, and I don't show up to be super competitive. So when you do, I'm gonna get rough with you. If you're gonna be So like the other Travis, my brother's best friend, I hate playing games with him because I'm like, I don't want to hurt you. I'm twice your size, and absolutely, if I get competitive with you, I'm gonna run you over. Like, he aggravates the out of me whenever we play sports together. And so I just was like, no, because you're not playing it to have fun. You're playing it to be better than everybody else. It's like, you want to play that game, I'll play, but I'm gonna play rough, and you're not gonna like my rough. Because we're not the same size. We're not the same, like, I'm faster than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you. And if I kick and miss and your leg's there, I could break it. Like, I'm going to give it all I got. I don't want to play at that level. I don't want to give all. I give the things all I got, like work. I enjoy what I do for work. I give that all I've got. I don't want to give hanging out with my friends every ounce of being just to, oh, I scored a goal. Woo. I don't care that much. Like, I'm not here to hurt myself or risk injuring somebody when we're just at a park kind of deal. Like,
I think that's fair. I think I've gotten to that level a couple times where I'm just like, I'm tired of being competitive at this level, you know? So, and I go back to why I said that was healthy. Like, there are some things that you can be really good at and not pursue, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to make that your life. You don't have to be what I guess society would expect you to from your talents. Like, that's not what your life is directed by. So, yeah, I think that's reasonable.
It's like what my grandpa said. He said, find something that you enjoy doing and figure out how to make money doing it. So I figured out I like driving and I like talking to people. So I figured out a way to make money doing it. But to a point where it's like, sometimes it's work and sometimes it sucks, sometimes it's gross, but the other 90% of the time, it's awesome.
Right.
Ready for a sidebar?
Ooh.
So, I can't remember if we talked on the last episode about it or if it was off air, but I had an idea to introduce sidebars into the podcast, and basically what that is, at least my definition, Google might have a different definition, but my definition is just kind of like a second or additional topic in the episode. You know, it's kind of going off topic, but it's kind of like a scripted off topic.
Scripted off topic.
Yeah, I think that's probably how you'd word that.
Yeah.
But
It's like a baby topic.
yeah, little baby topic. Yeah. So these sidebars, as I explained to the guys, is like it's not supposed to be like a whole another entire podcast. Like, we're not planning on doing double podcast episodes. So, you know, it's just supposed to be something that fills a little bit of time, little extra topic to talk about.
Bonus.
Yeah,
It's bonus.
It's bonus.
Bonus.
I like that word. Yeah, so one of the sidebars I was thinking about, like, you know, saying it out loud, it might sound kind of silly, but like,
Do it.
I've kind of been like not super big into like stats, but like kind of a stats guy.
Okay.
And like where I'm going with this is like, you know, I believe that getting a little bit into religion or what I believe, but I believe that you know, because of me believing in Jesus Christ as my Savior, that I'm gonna go to heaven, and you know, kind of going on top of that is you know, what heaven will be like, and so
So wait a minute, hold on. We just went from stats to what heaven's going to be like. So
yeah, so
He's getting to his point.
okay. All right. I want to make sure I didn't miss
So-
something. I was like, wait, are we like
Just
mathematically
just tell them what it
calculating
is.
heaven now?
yeah, real quick side tangent is I'm bad at introducing.
You're fine,
Just say what you got written
You're
down.
fine, dude. There's no
To
pressure
the
here.
point, like, I guess I was just trying to like clue our audience in,
Okay,
like
okay,
heaven
yeah.
and stuff. But anyway, to the point, like when I get to heaven, that you know, it's not going to be like just singing. You know, you're going to get to explore a little bit. That was.
Mhm.
But that's a different topic.
I'd love
That's
to.
a sidebar of the sidebar.
I'd love to explore that topic actually, at some point.
So we can talk about that
Heaven
later.
or like infinite singing.
Just what you do in heaven.
Oh,
or
okay.
What we think we might do.
But okay, so without further ado, the actual topic was like the what I have in my notes is the stats that you could possibly see in heaven. Like, I don't know what heaven is going to be like, but so to give an example is like super random example, but like how many times Travis blinked his eyes while he was on Earth. Just like ridiculous stats.
So like the playthrough stats that you get at the end of a RPG game. That's what you're talking about.
How many times Travis tripped over nothing? How many times
Travis almost died.
Yeah.
See, that's where I was going of like, how many times Josh could have died from his own stupidity. And like, I don't want to see that number. It's like, let's just cover that up. Like, it's way higher
Be
than
like,
I know.
oh, right, Isaac got a high score. It's like, Moses is like, that's not a good score. It's like
number
golf.
of people you ticked off. Oh no.
High score!
Imagine if there was that option in heaven. There would probably be filters.
That setting.
There are filters.
You can filter out the less pleasant
Would you
ones.
like to see your stats?
No.
No. This was a speed run.
Quickest way to get to heaven. Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. All right. So, what stats were you thinking about? Like, what are some of them?
Baby and a fork. Quickest way to get to
Ah,
Got dark.
stop it.
So I kind of listed off a few of them that I was thinking. I wish I would have gave some more examples. I could just
So, like, how many times you blinked? How many times?
how many times you blinked? How many? I mean, I might want to see how many times I almost died to be kind of interesting. Like, oh, that guardian angel needs a raise or something. But, I don't know. I think.
I can just picture you like walking up to the stat board and your guardian angel is next to you and he like sees the stats. He's like, "Yep, yep, that one too. I was there.
Yeah.
Yep." And then there's some like insane stat of like number of times you caused 300 people's lives to change by stepping here on the sidewalk. 1. And you're like, what? And look at the guardian angel. Don't ask. Like, no, you don't want to know. What did I do? Like,
Or he's sitting there like complaining, and then you guys like look over to your left, and it's like there's an angel with like 3 broken arms, or like 2 broken arms. Like he's got 2 casts on one arm, and he's like still bleeding from a head wound.
characters are walking in, they just look like they came out of a Skyrim
Yeah.
adventure. Like full
Like,
battle
"Well,
armor.
what did
It's
you
like-
do? Take an arrow to the knee.
That'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good.
Be like leaderboards, and those are the angels that make the most money.
I feel like a lot of the stats that are going through my head would all be like negative type stats, but I wonder like what positive ones would you have? Like,
How many people you saved? Or
yeah, I mean,
that'd be a really cool stat.
yeah,
I feel like expanding on that one maybe a little bit farther would be like how many people you impacted for the kingdom.
right.
Because there are so many times where you don't have a salvation conversation with
Right.
someone that you could still have a life-altering impact and have
Right.
no idea. Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about the time theory for the butterfly effect, where you the theory is if you change one thing in the past, it could violently alter everything you know. But the same is true for our normal day-to-day of like, you have no idea what impact you're going to have on somebody if you choose a right path to live by. Like you have no idea what that could actually do for somebody and how it could impact their world. So I think that would be a stat that I'd look forward to for sure.
I feel like I don't have any examples of this particular one, but just like certain stats that like, I mean, kind of a little bit going off of what you guys were talking about, but like stats of how like you affected someone or something without knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's kind of what you guys already said, but just like
Yeah.
different ways, like not just for the kingdom, even though it's a good thing.
Yeah. I know it's outlandish, but like
How many sperm cells?
the way that oh jeez,
That's probably not in the book.
dude. No.
Too many. You just get to a certain point in your life and it stops counting.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, but no, it's probably outlandish, but I just watched a movie not too long ago where they had like a betting pool of who was going to die that week. And so I'm as soon as you were talking about like guardian angels and stuff like that, I was just like getting this mental picture of angels sitting there going, all right, new week. Here are all the names of potential crazy things that they're going to do. Which one is most likely? Which one is least likely? Throw in your bets now. Let's go. Just seeing like what humans are actually going to do. Because I mean, our world's insane right now. Like, if you had a third party view of the world, tell me that somebody wouldn't be like, hey, I bet you somebody tries to kill that guy who's trying to be president. like
Right.
somebody somewhere would start that, man. I don't think angels are anything like us, but that's what came to mind. Like I said, probably outlandish, but if we're talking stat boards, like I could definitely see people treating it like a sports arena of like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen now. Oh, this guy got traded to a different job. Whoa. Anyway.
Anybody else have any ideas for that sidebar? I have another sidebar if we.
Oh, a bonus.
We got bonus.
I kind of like this idea of a stat board at the end of our lives. I think there would be some terrifying ones, but it would be kind of cool to see some others. So, yeah.
Like, how many people's food did you accidentally spit in while you were laughing? We just ate at Penn Station, and I used to work there. And I was like, that just went through my mind. I was like, how many actual like saliva molecules went into people's food just by talking over them?
But see, like on the opposite then, like you've got how many people appreciated a comment that you said not to them? Like, I cannot tell you how many times Mackenzie and I have walked through a mall and somebody passes me in full conversation with somebody else and I have died laughing right around the corner. Like, I have loved what they just said. It was amazing. It was so good. And I told my wife about it, and that person will literally never know. Like,
that'd be a good stat.
Like, that would be fun. I can see that being fantastic.
I have a little bit darker one. So, I don't know why. I think it might have been something Isaac was saying about, like, the food. It's not super, like, anyway, it's, how many people, like, really wanted to kill you, but chose not to.
Yeah.
Hopefully that number's not very high, but, like, I don't know why, man. Like
I feel like if this were a real thing, my guardian angel and I would have a few talks about some people in my life and be like, yeah, they were more upset than you realized. Like, really? It's like, do you want to see the stat? No. Yeah, that would be intense. Yeah. I feel like there are a lot of negative stats, and I'm like valiantly fighting. Like, no, there are some good ones out there. I promise. No, that's good. That's a great idea. I like that.
And for this sidebar and other sidebars we might do in the future, like, you know, because it's a sidebar and it's just kind of the bonus topic, we can, if we move on to our original topic or to another sidebar, we can always come back to this one, because I know sometimes when we talk about a topic, we don't always think of everything we want to say, like, while we're still talking about that. So we talked about hobbies and a few other stuff, including our sidebar about stats and such.
Heavenly stats.
Yep, our heavenly stats. But yeah, we're kind of running out of time for this episode, so I hope to I'm gonna say see you back in the next episode.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah. We're still figuring out how to do these outros, obviously.
We hope to see you at the next episode.
Yeah. I feel like the classic YouTuber from like 2002 or whatever is like, yeah, and drop your favorite hobbies in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Yeah.
I'm very.
Wouldn't it be smack since we're smack left? Smack
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Smack lift that one.
The whole name. Oh man. Now it's a verb. Excellent. Is that it? We good?
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.